Well, hey there, guys. Welcome back to the channel. We've just watched Tottenham v Liverpool at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We've finished Tottenham 1, Liverpool 3. So if you're new to Gash Football, please subscribe to us and leave your thoughts, comments, questions in the live chat, and we'll answer those. And if you want to join in and have your say, DM us on Twitter at garage_football or email us in the email address that's bannering at the bottom. So Ryan, your thoughts on the game, mate?
Yeah, it was quite interesting to watch, actually. I think Liverpool were definitely the better side, not just because they won 3-1, but you could just tell that they were the stronger side from the minute, from the kickoff. Really, I mean, Mane should have scored within the first 2 minutes. Tottenham,
Definitely.
I think in the first half in particular, I think they were quite good defensively, and then they sort of took their eye off the ball towards the end, just before the end of the first half, and then it was kind of sort of, you could say game over for the second half before they came back to score for 2-1, but I'd say it was Liverpool's game, definitely.
100%. Yeah, I don't think Liverpool were at their very best, but certainly a lot better than what they have been last few games, and putting not quite performance of champions, but you could tell the quality was back and the confidence, and it just shows what a couple of goals can do to any side, eh?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. And don't get me wrong, though, there were a few little moments where I think Tottenham did look dangerous. Let's not forget the fantastic goal they scored, but yeah, they were quite flat in general. But just, I think they just locked. I think Tottenham's faults really is they just lacked a bit of control at the back. They didn't have any sort of discipline, and
very unlike a Jose-led team.
Oh, absolutely. Just weren't clearing the lines at all, were they? And their goalkeeper made a few bad mistakes, especially for the second goal. Weird how he didn't push it out wide. Just I don't think anyone expected that performance from Tottenham tonight.
No, I wasn't quite sure what to expect from either side, really. Especially Liverpool. Amazing they hadn't scored in the league this year, which is obviously quite incredible with the players they've got. But they had to put in the performance really to, I'd say stay in the title race, and they certainly did that. And as you say, mate, 2 minutes gone, come flying out the blocks, and they should have scored. Sadio Mane, he hasn't scored for a few games, and I think the way he took his effort. His left-footed effort. Usually he's obviously very confident in front of goal, but didn't seem it. And on that occasion, and it went wide. I think it was Milner, a really good ball by James Milner, and Salah played in Mane. I think Ore was a bit lackadaisical, but yeah, Mane hit it wide. Where if he was on top form, he would have buried it.
Yeah, very unlucky for Liverpool then, but Tottenham had a pretty good response 2 minutes later. Son, we thought scored at first, but obviously VAR ruled it as offside, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's just his heel was offside, but it's a lovely finish by Son. It's what it's usually like when he's through on goal. I think Ndombele did really well in midfield. He drove forward, committing some of Liverpool's midfielders. Laid it off to Harry Kane, and what the telepathic nature between Harry Kane and Son. Good ball forward, and a lovely finish, as I say, but ruled offside. And I think his heel was just offside, but tight call. But we've seen VAR offside goals given for a toe or an armpit being offside, so a heel was obviously more than sufficient for that. So, but yeah, it was a good response by Tottenham. But I have to say, mate, for the rest of the first half, I think Liverpool were showing that zip and that passing range and movement off the ball, which we come to expect from Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool over the past couple of seasons. That's sort of disappeared a little bit last few games, but it seemed to be coming back. As I say, not top form, but they were getting there, weren't they?
Yeah, well, they definitely showed there was, that they had the winning mentality.
Yeah,
and they were dominating, like you say. After that was it. You just thought any minute now they're going to score. And really, that was it. It was pretty much all Liverpool. And then just before half time, you know, a bit of a weak defensive display from Tottenham, which sort of put it on a plate really for Firmino.
God, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
what I find shocking really. Fantastic assist and great play. I think Henderson at first passed it to Mane and
Yeah,
then
that's right. Yeah,
over to Firmino. But Dyer just didn't know what he was going to do. Like they just weren't him and the goalkeeper. So they should have just cleared the ball, done something with it. Even if you're going to make it hurt yourself, injure yourself, do something.
Yeah.
They didn't. But it was just they left. It was on a plate for them really, and they got their knife and fork out. Simple as that.
They certainly did, and I think Liverpool definitely deserved to take the lead. I think their first half display, they definitely deserved to be at least one goal up. But I think as much as it was good play by Liverpool for the goal, I think you're absolutely right. The defending by Tottenham was absolutely shocking. No wonder Jose Mourinho was absolutely going mental when that goal went in. I mean, as you say, good ball over the top by Henderson. Mane, he got in between Aurier and Joe Rodon, and they didn't track him, so that's one mistake already. Decent ball across the 6-yard box. But as you say, Dyer left it for Lloris, and Lloris left it for Dyer. You'd rather both of them go for it rather than they both leave it. And Firmino tucked it away. I thought at first that there must have been a whistle or there was an offside or something because they just stopped. Like they stopped in a way where you think, oh, something's happened off the ball, whatever. And you think,
they didn't look confident. It was almost like, are we still playing? It's just
it's one of those. And you think, they're both experienced players, Dyer and Lloris. Obviously, Lloris World Cup winner, and you got to take responsibility, and they both didn't. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and obviously, Jose Mourinho equally couldn't believe what he saw either.
Absolutely, and poor defensive display there from Tottenham, which gave Liverpool the goal. And a good finish, though, don't get me wrong. It was still technically a good goal.
Yeah, it was a good move. Yeah, it was a good move by Liverpool, and at least they deserved. I think, after, that frantic opening by both sides, I think, Liverpool settled down. I think Thiago in midfield was pulling the strings, I thought. Firmino was dropping off, linking well with Salah. Alexander-Arnold with his trademark runs down the right-hand side. Mane was getting into good positions, but his touch was a little bit off, so that lack of confidence that we saw from his missed chance early on, but he was still getting, as I say, good positions. I thought they were dominating. I just kept looking at my notes. It's all Liverpool, all Liverpool, all having the ball, dominating the play, getting ahead of steam. And I think Tottenham, I don't think they played badly. They just couldn't play through the thirds, I felt. But when they did counter attack, as we saw with Son, and I think later on as well, after about 20 minutes, he had an effort that was easily saved by Alisson. He probably should have done better. So when they did actually manage to break through Liverpool's midfield, they were able to create chances. But in terms of playing through the thirds and getting some possession, it was all Liverpool, wasn't it?
Absolutely, but well-deserved goal at the end of the day. I know we can say poor defensive display, and they should have had a bit more control and cleared the lines, but no, they were going to score at some point. But that was the first half then. And I think going into the second half, I think Liverpool, they pretty much did hit the ground running, didn't they? It could have been a perfect start straight away. Firmino and Salah nearly scored straight away. And then it was about a minute or two later, or a minute later, I think, it was a great shot from Mane, wasn't
it? Alexander-Arnold. We've got the second goal, didn't he?
Yeah, he got the goal. Yeah.
Yeah. I think before that, I mean, obviously, we forgot to mention that in the first half, Harry Kane, when he went off, then come back on, and then he was eventually subbed at half time. So they took Kane off, and Lamela come on, and Aurier, who had an absolute stinker of the first half, he come off, and Winks come on. I just think those subs caused havoc in the Tottenham backline, and I think that probably led to Liverpool's second goal, to make it go 2-0 up. They were a bit all over the place, Tottenham, and Liverpool, they started off brilliantly like they did the first half.
They were on a mission to punish Tottenham, weren't they? That was just it was just time to execute. So obviously Liverpool 2-0 up from that point. great goal. But then not long after, I know you are completely right, Bill. It was pretty much, Liverpool's game. But then what a strike, when Tottenham came back to make it, 2-1. It was
great
just.
effort.
I actually thought from that point, we've got a game on here. Tottenham are going to come back. Brilliant strike. That for me, that was kind of the last little bit of fire really from Tottenham.
Yeah, they didn't really push on from there, did they? I think even just going quickly back to Alexander-Arnold's goal, I thought it was quite telling. It was quite telling that I'm sure you noticed it as well. That it was good play by Mane, good shot. But I think Lloris, I think he was up full along with Dyer for the first goal. I think his parry away was pretty poor. He didn't tip it around the post. Back into a dangerous area. It was a good strike by Alexander-Arnold, but I think Lloris could have done better. And I think it was quite telling afterwards. They panned to Doherty, and he was going, like, his arms were out and stuff. He wasn't sure where he was meant to be, and I think that just summed up the confusion in the Tottenham defence.
Yeah, I agree. And that was what was shocking, really. That's what I said earlier, really. It was a fantastic strike from Mane, and then obviously Alexander-Arnold to score the goal. But like we just said, Lloris should have pushed it wide. It was just poor. It was strange how he positioned it, really. Again, I think you could argue all goals, all fantastic goals from Liverpool, but equally all sort of, defensive mistakes as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're totally right about Højbjerg's goal. That was a sensational goal. Nothing Alisson could have done about it. It curled away from Alisson, right into the sort of the side netting, if anything. Brilliant goal. I think Bergwijn laid it off for him, and then, as you rightly said, I don't think they really, I don't think Tottenham really pushed on from there. You think, okay, let's get a bit of momentum and create some more chances. But if anything, it was Liverpool who had more to play, and in the end, they did extend their lead. They thought they did. About 5-6 minutes later, really good strike by Mo Salah, but it was disallowed for a handball by Firmino on the halfway line. But don't
get me wrong. I know it was. If you're going to go by VAR, it was handball.
Yeah.
But I thought that was, for me. I thought that was a bit harsh because it came off of Dyer handballed it, and it was sort of ball to his. It was an accidental response. If VAR wasn't here, would that have been kind of left?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, you go by VAR. Was it handball? Yes, it was. So you have to accept that decision. But I think it was a bit of a harsh decision.
Yeah, it's one of those, mate. I think, yes, Firmino handballed it, but why did he handball it? Because for me, it looked like Dyer fouled him. So I think sometimes VAR, they focus too much on one issue, but they don't look at the whole picture. Like you look at, when Pickford, fouled Van Dijk in the derby, and that was a clear red card. If you're ever going to see it, and then they focused on the offside. Like, do you know what I mean? So they didn't look at the whole picture, just on one particular incident. So I think it was a similar one.
That's where they need to look at the system.
Yeah, so I think it was quite similar. I don't think they took the sort of. It looked like a foul by Dyer. Obviously, we had to see it again, but it looked a foul. And then I don't think they took that into account. But it was a really good move by Liverpool. It probably did deserve to stand because of the standard of the goal, but so be it. But it didn't matter in the end. 10 minutes later, 65th minute, Sadio Mane, he got his goal. It was a hopeful ball by Alexander-Arnold to Mane.
Oh, what a pass that was!
Huh. It was, but Roden should have cut it out.
Yeah, again, similar from the first goal, really, wasn't it? It was kind of lost control, didn't have any kind of control on it. Should have just cleared the line, and ridiculous, really.
Yeah, it was a shame. I think Roden looked pretty tidy in the games I've seen him, but in that particular incident, he either should have, come out from his starting position and cleared the ball, or step back and sort of pass it back. But it just let it hit him. It didn't attack the ball. As a defender, you've got to attack the ball, haven't you? So whether you're heading it or whatever it is. So did neither, and Mane. All it takes is that one opportunity. It doesn't matter how good formula or bad formula, it just takes that one opportunity, and they hit it well. I don't think Lloris had a lot of chance. He got a touch to it, but I think it was a really good strike, and they saw the game out pretty comfortably, I have to say. I think I don't know I'm not sure how many shots Tottenham had. I'll just have to have a quick look while we're chatting. I think it was only 3 shots. Tottenham had 3 shots in the whole game. So obviously that's not good enough.
But I have to just ask, obviously, I know we're live and, talking about this game, but on the back of this defeat for Tottenham, I mean, I know Liverpool will still be pushing for the title. Do you think this has pushed Tottenham back now? Like, they're not really title contenders on the back of this?
Yeah, it's difficult, mate. I think, what are they, 7, 8 points off top? It's going to be tough for him. I mean, you can't rule out a team led by Jose Mourinho. We've said it a number of times, but he's an equal to Pep Guardiola in terms of success over the last 20 years. So he's won the Premier League 3 times. So I wouldn't rule it out at all. But I think it's going to be a big ask, especially if Kane's out injured for a significant period of time. What do you think?
I agree with you. You can't rule out Jose Mourinho. He knows how to win trophies. He knows how to do the job. But I think this has pushed it back a little bit. I remember a month or 2 ago when you did a video with John Cross, and and then it looked like pretty much icing. Oh no, Tottenham are going to do it. Especially being a 1 this year as well, 2021, because they're very good at they won. The last time they won the league was 61, and then obviously they've won cups in 81, etc., 91. So I thought this could be their year, but no, I think this is personally. I think it's pushed them back, and I hope so as well.
Yeah, it was. West Ham and Arsenal fans
are underdogs now. Yeah.
Well, we're above Tottenham, so we're doing all right. Cool. Well, good game that was. Better than the last few games we've reacted to. So hopefully that continues for the rest of the season. So thanks for joining us, mate. Thanks everyone that's watched. If you're new to Garage Football, please subscribe to us. If you enjoyed our reaction, like this video, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.